I've got some pretty fun stuff to talk to you guys about, so I'm just going to go ahead and speed through it, but I need your permission to keep it real and to keep it hard. So if that's okay, everybody say, bring it.
Bring it.
All right, good deal. So here we go. So first things first, what I'm going to teach you guys today is how to be absolute lead machines, and I'm going to teach you how to close anybody, anytime, without being salesy, without being high pressure, but to just create a very smooth process that is objectionless. Who here would like to have more yeses and no objections? Who here would like to know that? All right, well, I'm gonna get into that, but you guys need to buckle in. So, first things first, let me just tell you real quick. 11 years ago, before I was a speaker, trainer, founder of any companies, or anyone you should even consider listening to, all right, I was just a 21-year-old broke college kid working at a GNC store at the mall, all right? And so what's funny is a guy came in and he prospected me, all right? It's really funny, and he actually prospected me and the guy at Vitamin World, and he's a really good-looking guy, you know, he's like buff and stuff, and we both walked out there, and I'd never seen anything about network marketing. I had no idea, like, you know, recruit people or anything. So me and the guy, we were both buddies, and I was like, dude, you wouldn't believe it, I got a job opportunity today. And I'm about to graduate college. He's like, dude, so did I. Yeah, good-looking guy. I was like, and we were like, dude, you think he's gay? Is he like hitting on us? You know? And I was like, dude, I don't care, man. I need a job, right? I don't care what he's about. All right, but here's what I know. All I did is I went to my first opportunity meeting, and I saw people making tons of money, having a blast, and I got so excited I nearly peed my pants. I was like, I saw people making 30 grand a month, and I was like, oh my God, I just want to make 30 grand a year. All right, so here's what happened next. Now, real quick disclaimer, my results are not typical. For my first 4.5 months, I got the Rodney King beat down. I mean, I was pummeled. Everyone I thought would say yes, didn't. You know, they say those who you think will, won't, those who you think won't, will. Well, for me, it was everyone. Like, everyone just said no. All right, now, I said, all right. This is just too much. I got a better idea. I said, screw this crap. I'm going out into the cold market, and I'm gonna find me some strangers. Who here has ever said, screw this friends and family crap? All right? So this is my next game plan. I was like, I'm going out there in the cold market, and I'm just going to go talk to people I don't know. And then I got the beat down from total strangers. Who here has ever gotten that before? All right. Everyone else is like too proud. They're like, no, everyone tells me yes. So I found out real quick why they called it the cold market. It was very cold, very unforgiving. I felt like a total loser, but I absolutely refused to quit. Everyone turn to your neighbor and say, I will not quit. I will until. That's my attitude. All right, now, what I did instead of quitting is I did tons of personal development. All right, I read all kinds of books. I listened to the best of the best, all the leaders. Jim Rohn said to make up in numbers what you lack in skill. So I was like, hey, I'm pretty bad at this thing, so hey, I'll just outwork everybody. So I took to the streets to play the numbers game. Now, even though I was totally scared of cold market prospecting and going out there, I went out there and I did it anyway. And each day started like this. I'd start like this and it'd end like this. It'd start like this and it'd end like this. It'd start like this and it'd end like this. It'd start like this and it would end like this. I got pummeled with objections. I mean, you name it, I heard it. It was ridiculous. And, but of course, the most frustrating one of all is I want to think about it. Because, like, what does that even mean? It's like, well, what do you want to think about? Like, so I, read all these books on sales. They're like, what is it that you care to think about? You know? But you know something? I was determined to be successful. All right? Who here is determined to be successful? Oh, yeah. So my big breakthrough didn't come until I discovered B10XB. Now, B10XB is what I now affectionately call my secret to success. You too will soon probably call it your secret to success. It's an acronym that I created because I got in a state of appreciation. I started to ask myself, I said, you know what? Why, if you think about your life, and I'll ask you guys this question, everything in your life that's great, that you're excited about, whether it's a relationship, whether it's the fact that you're in this room, whether it's the business that you signed up, when you signed up to say yes on that application to join your business, when you found your wife, your husband, everything great that's ever come in your life has been a result of a bolder moment. There was a fork in the road where you could have chose to be weak and listen to the weak side of your brain, or you could have taken that bolder path Everyone in this room is here because we took the bolder path. So I created this as an acronym to stand for Be 10 times bolder. Everyone say, Be 10 times bolder. Be 10 times bolder. That's what B10XB stands for. And what it is it's what really helped me to get in a bolder state. Because the only reason we encounter fear, anxiety, apprehension, or any of the other diseases of attitude is because we have these neuro associations where we have pain and we have pleasure. See, a lot of times people, God, a lot of it's not our fault, right? We're afraid to prospect and talk to strangers. Why? Because when we were a little kid, what did our parents say? Don't talk to strangers, right? And then you did one day when you were 5 years old and you went to go talk to a stranger and your mom said, don't talk to strangers. So then all of a sudden you link pain talking to strangers. And that's happened over and over in your life. You know, a lot of times while we're afraid to go talk to, people of the opposite sex, maybe you were in like 3rd grade, this girl was real cute, you went up to go talk to her and she goes, get away from me, you have the cooties. And you were like, ooh, pain associated, pretty woman, Now you're afraid to talk to pretty people. So what you have to do is you have to rewire the links that you have in your brain. I'm going to help you to do that with something that I call a pattern interrupt. B10XB isn't just an acronym, it's also a pattern interrupt. The question that you ask yourself, because if you want better results, you have to ask yourself better questions. All right, so here's the better question. Whenever you encounter any type of opportunity where you feel fear, anxiety, apprehension, whether it's picking up the phone, prospecting a person, starting a business, ask yourself this question. Hey, what would I do if I was 10 times bolder? What would I do if I was 10 times bolder? And the minute you do that, because here's what's happening, you're seeing that person you want to go prospect and talk to, and your brain's like freaking out. You're like, oh, I should go talk to him. And then all of a sudden starts creating stories. You can't talk to that person. They're on the phone. They're rude. They don't even look like they're interested. Yeah, look at him. He's not even. And then your brain starts creating all these stories, and your brain, like lightning fast, like puking at you all of the reason because your brain keeps to seek itself in its comfort zone. See, muscles don't like to be worked out, right? That's why they like, all that lactic acid burns. But if you want to strengthen a muscle, what do you have to do? Everyone say, burn through it. What do you have to do? Burn through it. So all of a sudden, you ask yourself a better question. Your brain's doing all the stories. Say, hey, what would I do if I was 10 times bolder? And then all of a sudden, you ask that question. Your brain's going to go, well, if you were 10 times bolder, you'd go right up and talk to that person. Hey, if you were 10 times bolder, you'd start that company. Hey, if you were 10 times bolder, you'd say yes and get started in that business. Now, all of a sudden, whatever you come up with, everyone say, do it. Everyone say, do it now. Whatever you come up with, you have to do it right then and there. And if you don't, you need to go ahead and link some pain to the inactivity of being bold. One of the things that I love that Ray Higdon said earlier is he said, know how to close before you prospect. If you know all of a sudden how to get the result, and you go, hey, I already know what the result's going to be. I know what to say. All of a sudden, how much easier does it become? So the result is I filled up a few black books, 22 to be exact, at about 160 pages. You can go ahead and give that a round of applause. So, an average of, 3 names per page. That's about 10,000 some people that I personally shook their hand, got their information, and they were excited to hear back from me. That doesn't count the 4,000 some phone numbers in my cell phone. That doesn't count the thousands upon thousands of business cards that I've collected, all right? Not to mention all the little loose leaf pieces of paper, the napkins that I tried to aggregate, and, I tried to be organized. I'm not the most organized person, but I'd have them typed out and stuff. So needless to say, you know how everything I'm about to share with you is going to work? You don't want to know why? Everyone say, it's been tested, right? It's all about split testing, right? I've heard everything you can hear. I've gotten every objection you can get in multiple variations. This doesn't count the, multiple business cards all over my house. Actually, my girlfriend said I should start like a co-op, a new info program, like a coaching program. You can just come to my house and just call all like these tens of thousands of leads. Like I don't even, I'll call them the first time. If they don't buy the first time, I'm like, all right, sounds good. So I probably left a lot of money on the table, but I kept coming and just kept moving. So would that help? Yes. Would that help? Yes. Would being in a constant state of a bolder mindset make you a stronger person in the marketplace? Yes. Am I helping to get rid of the problem of the enough? The reason you don't pick up the phone is because you feel fear. If you say, hey, what would I do if I was 10 times bolder? You'd go and do it. Now, when I got rejected so hard, I said, I'm going to get so good that I'm going to just, So that's what happened, and I started doing all this stuff, learning NLP and all that stuff, like that. So I'm going to share with you guys why I know this works, not only because it's been tested on tens of thousands of people, but this is the stuff that when I train timeshare salespeople to do, I show them how to close $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 deals seamlessly. from people that come in. The difference in that industry is they come in like this. I'm not doing anything. I'm just here for my vacation. Who has ever been on a timeshare tour? Just real quick. And some of them are bad. Some of the guys are like, oh, buy now, and then they just beat you up and until you say no. Well, that's not what we do. That's not what I teach. So I'm going to give you like the atom bomb formula. So when you drop it on your little business, where you're like, $300, like what you're trying to close, it's going to be like, boom, it's overkill. All right? But this is fun stuff to study. So how to get anyone to say yes anytime immediately without feeling like they need to think about it. So this is the immediate yes formula. All right? IY equals A plus S plus P plus I plus TC plus R. All right, my dad would be so proud. He's actually got his PhD in chemistry. He went to MIT. Like that stuff skips a generation apparently because I about flunked chemistry. All right, but I am using it here. So, in order to formulaically trigger a yes response, everybody say yes. Yes. Everybody say yes. Yes. You need to have every element I'm about to share with you in your sales process, whether it's in person, whether it's in a video, whether it's in copy. This is online and offline stuff. Now, failure to incorporate any one of these aspects is going to ensure that your immediate yes formula turns into immediate yes coincidence or an I'll think about it guarantee. So let me give you the quick breakdown. So in order to get an immediate yes, there needs to be a reason why that person has to take action immediately. There needs to be a reason why they have to take action immediately. All right? That needs to be laced. That's your call to action. That's your close. And it needs to have some elements of urgency. Everyone say urgency. There has to be a reason, pain and pleasure. In order for them to take that action and to even have any urgency that works, if I'm like, hey, it's the last one, and try and use some scarcity principles on you, but you don't want it, what difference does it make, right? So what we're talking about now is reverse engineering your sales process. Reverse engineering it. So look at whatever you're going to do and then start dissecting it backwards. Say, okay, so I need to have some urgency. But no one buys anything unless there's a solution to the problem. Now, in order for you to have a solution, you have to have a what? A problem. So in order to find the problem, you're going to have to get some, everyone say information. Everyone say information. The reason I get you to repeat stuff is because I'm trying to affect your state. You remember better when I enact and engage your physiology. If you say something, you're going to remember it. If you look at something, you'll remember it a little bit. If you say it and you do it and you've got some action, everyone say yes. Yes. You're going to lock it in that much more, all right? So what I want you to realize is in order to have some information from your prospect, they're going to have to believe that that they can trust you and that you're credible, right? Because, look, do you tell a secret to someone you can't trust? Do you tell a secret to someone you can't trust? Do you tell your problems to someone that can't solve them? Liars. Some of y'all are some gossipers. You just go, woe is me, and they can't help you. All right? So I'm not talking to you guys. But what I am going to say is if you learn how to establish and to frame yourself as a credible and trustworthy person, they're going to give you the information that you need. All right? But how are you going to get to talk about yourself and to frame yourself as that trustworthy individual that has the solutions to their problems if they don't like you? We buy from people that we know, like, and what? There we go. We got some intelligent people in this audience. I knew it when I walked in. So what you have to do is you have to find a way, because have you guys ever met anyone? Now, not anyone like on this stage or this event, but have you ever just like met people maybe within your own company or just other people, they get on and they talk about themselves, and so all of a sudden you're just like, man, this person just doesn't, and they're trying to make themselves look credible and trustworthy, but they're not doing it right, so then you're just like, oh, they're arrogant. Who here's ever met people like that? You ever met anyone that's arrogant? Mostly because they don't know how to talk about themselves. There's an art to doing that. There's a way to do that without sounding, like you're trying. All right? There's ways to build rapport subconsciously without even saying a word. Yes, matching and marrying, there's other things like that, but there's a lot of different things that you can do. What you need to do is you need to become a student of this art. All right? Now, I'm going to give you kind of a formula, and I drew this out in a pyramid because I know no one in here is afraid of pyramids, right? Are we okay with pyramid stuff? Are we okay with pyramid-looking things in this room? Are we all right with that? All right? No one's like, oh, this isn't going to work. Caesar, it's a pyramid. We don't have any people like that, right? All right, cool. So here's how it looks. All right, nice and clear. All right, again, action, solution, problem, information, trust, credibility. Your goal is to cycle through these steps without looking like you're trying. Now, if you ever have any type of problem, all right, it's going to lie with the previous step. For example, if you're having problems getting the problem from your prospect and you're trying to get their pain points, well, it's because they're not giving you the right information. Now, if they're not giving you the right information, why is that? Because probably you don't have the trust and credibility built up. And if you don't have the trust and credibility built up, where might that lie? In your rapport. So every step hinges on the other. So it's very important to look at whatever it is that you're doing and to frame it with and begin with the end in mind. Does that make sense? All right, so your goal is to cycle through properly. So we have to identify the different points in your business that you can use for urgency, the different things that you can do to build trust and credibility, the different third-party stories that you can create. All right, so every element is vital. If you miss even one, you're going to open yourself up for objections. Can I give you guys a couple examples? This next part's fun because what's going to happen is you're going to start to see some objections that you get, and you go, oh, crap, that must mean I'm missing it right around there, or one of the steps below it. All right, so for example, if you were to miss, for example, action, not lacing your call to action with urgency. See, a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, I'm in network marketing. Yeah, if you want to do it, you can do it. Just let me know. I'm ready for you whenever you are. And then guess when your prospect is ready to do it? When they're ready to do it. And when is that? Everyone say never. It's on their time, which is like, oh, I was going to, but, I had the kids, this weekend. And, like people say like kids like it's like a disease. I'm like, really? Oh my God, you've got the kids? How long have you had that? Oh my God. God, can we do anything? Can I help? Like I couldn't watch the webinar. Oh, the kids. I'm like, okay, So you're going to get what I call the be-back bomb. If you have no urgency and you're just like, yeah, so yeah, what do you think? You guys are just looking at each other. Yeah, pretty cool. You want to do it? Wrong. Everyone go, eh. You're going to get the be-back bomb. They're going to go, oh, yeah, I want to think about it. Let me see how you do first. Who has ever gotten some of these objections? Now's not the time. I'll call you when I'm ready. Next year would be a better year. Next month would be a better month. What's the difference? Don't call me. I'll call you. Who's ever gotten that stuff? You're missing urgency. So now start to look at what you're doing and go, ooh, I need to find some ways to incorporate some more urgency. All right? Now, if you miss the solution, you're going to get what I call no interest obliteration. All right? That's what this looks like. Oh, I'm not interested. No, it's not for me. You're going to get all that stuff. All right? Because they're not interested because you didn't have people only buy solutions. Would we agree? What do people buy? Solutions. So if you don't have a solution to their problem, they're like, hey, it's not for me. But again, what if you missed a problem? Now, that's what most of us do. We miss the problem. We just go in and we miss our hot button because we don't know what's really hurting. So we do what we call the shotgun approach. That's what we call up our friends. And we're like, dude, I'm in this awesome thing. You wouldn't believe it. Oh, my God, the comp plan's ridiculous. You're like, dude, it's got like this bionic herbal thing. Like, listen, you had to like, the only, I know you've heard of other things like this, but ours, there's like this tree, it's like this bamboo tree that only like, ripens once a year. And there's like this ooze that comes off the tree bark. And when you bottle it up and you put it, dude, no, it's not like those other things. Like, oh, I got this thing. And you're just shotgunning like, boom, and hoping you've got someone that just volunteers and goes, wow, what a great solution. Oh, by the way, I've got a problem. I need to make some money. So, yeah, sign me up. And you'll get some of those people, but you're going to get the because bomb. Because they don't have their problem. They're going to go, well, I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I want to think about it. I'm not saying no. I'm just not saying yes. It's not that important to me. Because you're not solving a what? You're not solving a what? Problem. If you get their problem, the money goes away. You want to know how to get, and one of the biggest things that I teach is stack up enough problems that they have in their personal life. And when you compare it to the money, then all of a sudden, when they've got more problems than the solution costs, everyone say, they're in. They're in. Right? So someone goes, oh, I don't have the time, I don't have the money. Well, if you found out that right now their relationship is on the rocks because they're having conversations about money in the home and they can't do this and they can't do that and they haven't been on vacation in forever, now all of a sudden, you're not using your opportunity to solve like, you're not just like, oh, dude, look at this great like oil that this tree like ferments, and you're not like going like, oh, my comp plan is so awesome. You're like, dang, dude, listen, well, what can we do about that? Like, if we don't change, like, so what's going to happen if you don't get some, your relationship right? I mean, are you okay with that? What's going to happen with the kids? Like, who's going to get who? Have you thought about that? Gosh. So, like, are you going to do joint custody? Is it going to be like, is she going to take half? well, where are you guys going to live? You can't move then. And all of a sudden, they're like, holy crap. Okay, yeah, I need to fix this thing. Now, all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, great. Here's a solution. Is that a lot easier? See, don't get caught up on what your thing does. Get focused on what it can do for them. All right? So if you miss information and you get the wrong information, all right, you're going to get apathy annihilation. Because now you're going to be talking about everyone's problems. Oh, man, this thing is like bringing kids home. Like, there's like parents are now able to be single, are able to be with their kids now. And then you're talking about all these problems that other people have. You're like hoping that you're hitting their problems. You're like, well, yeah, I'm sure your relationship would be a lot better, if you had some more money in the house. Would you agree? And they're like, no, money's not important. Dude, how dare you? Right? You got slapped up, right? Because you didn't get the right information. Now, apathy annihilation looks like this. Who here's gotten these objections? No, it's not for me. I can see why this is good for other people. They're just kind of like, I don't know. That's usually because you're not getting the right information. Now, what did we talk about earlier? If you're not getting the right information, where might you be missing it? Right in the below steps, the trust and credibility, right? So if you don't get the trust and credibility, they're going to be skeptical, and you're going to create what I call and get fired and launched on with the research rocket. Who here knows about the research rocket? The ones where you create professional skeptics. All of a sudden, everyone's like an engineer and like, everyone's like super duper analytical. And they're all like, oh, let me see how you do first. I need to, of course, do my due diligence. You don't expect me to do this without my wife now, do you? You don't expect me to do this without my husband. I'm just like, yeah, I do. So why is that? Why I used to get so frustrated with this stuff. Well, the reason why is, I wasn't understanding how to frame myself as a trustworthy, incredible individual. Do you know what you need to do that? Everyone say stories. You can do that yourself. You don't need the big story. Dude, do you realize how, I was like 20, when I was like 22, 23 years old, and I look young already. Like at that age, I was like really looking young. And I was going up to professionals, and I was like really nervous, but of course I had my Be 10 Times Bolder, and I stepped into my swag, into my new identity. But even still, I kept having all these people be like, I need to do my due diligence. I didn't even know what due diligence means. Does anyone even know what that means? Like due diligence. It's just like a fancier word of just saying, I want to think about it. Like, I need to do my due diligence. I need to do my research. I'm like, due diligence? Clearly smarter than me, just call it. Like, just say you're broke and you don't have the money to do it, please. Just give me something I can work with so I can move on. All right. So, if you miss rapport, and this is where a lot of people miss it, believe it or not, because of your friends and your family and even in the cold market, if you don't know how to build rapport massively and quickly, and I teach multiple rapid rapport building methods, you're going to get the smoke screen. And you're not going to know what's wrong. They're just going to be like, I don't know, just something isn't right, I don't know. You're just going to get a lot of everything I talked about. The problem is you don't know where to diagnose it. Typically, it's in your rapport. Because if you have awesome rapport, when two people of equal rapport meet and get together, whoever is the most confident, whoever is the most certain will lead the other. Remember that. How many people would agree that you've got some friends, and I know I've got some people that I can just call up and just be like, hey, dude, I need your credit card. I'm going to run it for about $300. You trust me, right? Yeah, all right, you're going to be in this thing, don't worry about it. My best friend signed me up for a business that he was hounding me. He's like, you just do it, man, it's going to be, I'm just going to give you a spot. And I'm like, dude, I'm not going to build it. I'm in my thing. I love what I do. And he's like, no, I'm just going to build a team under you. And finally, he's like, all right, dude, I needed to qualify for whatever. And I was like, all right, just put me in. And it's just rapport, right? So it all tends to look like that. I want to think about it. So quick little recap. Did I give you guys the formula? Do you understand this? All right, now, if you're having problems, just know, look at your objection, figure out where it pops up, and look not just there. Again, if you're having a problem getting the problem, it usually lies in a previous step. So start thinking of ways that you can tighten up those previous steps. All right, so another thing that I want to close with is, this is my favorite quote. You can write this down if you like. Why is it my favorite quote? Probably because I invented it. All right? I steal a lot of cool stuff, but this one's actually mine. It's always play to win, never play to keep from losing. See, in life, all too often, we have this mindset of like we're playing to keep from losing. Let me give you an example. Two football teams, they take the field. How many times have we seen this in life? Two football teams, they take the field. One team comes in, they absolutely are bashing the other team. They're up by like 4 touchdowns at the half. The winning team goes in the locker room and their speech is, hey, listen, guys, let's start playing defensively. Let's run the ball. Now, they got there by doing what? Throwing bombs, blitzing on every play, being aggressive. Playing to what? Everyone say win. Playing to win. And then what ends up happening is they're like, hey, we got the game locked. All we need to do is cruise control to the finish line. The other team goes in the locker room and they go, listen, we got everything to gain and nothing to lose. We need to go out. We need to go all out. We need to be all in, go all out. So they go ahead and they hit the field and their coach says, do it. We're blitzing on every play. We're throwing Hail Marys. We're throwing bombs. We're going crazy. How many times have we seen that game end where the losing team comes back and it's the greatest comeback ever? How many times? Let me hear it. How many times? Lots of times. We call it the greatest comeback ever. And it's the games that we talk about and relive for years. Why? Because the team that was playing to keep from losing, they all of a sudden were focused on losing. The team that was playing to win went all in, and they went all out. You guys are here because you are winners. Everyone say, I'm a winner. I'm a winner. Because there's some people that didn't come because they're like, well, I've only got like, $1,000 in my bank account, and, if I go, then I don't know how I'm going to pay, like, my rent in 2 months from now. And, listen, if I had my last dollar, I would always bet it on myself and taking the opportunity. There's so many times that we get in things and we're like, well, I'm not going to buy this product because, I don't, want to do this, even though it might help me. What if I don't get the results? I'm not going to come to this event. What if I don't? But it's the people that go, listen, I'm playing to win. I'm all in. And they just go for it. Those are the ones that get the results. Those are the success stories. So I challenge you to ask yourself, are you playing to win or are you playing to keep from losing? Ask yourself that question all the time. The reason I started activitytracker.com, I knew nothing about any of that stuff. I just said, hey, listen, always play to win, never play to keep from losing. I'm going to go for it. Your prospect, same thing. Listen, are you playing? Someone goes to look at your opportunity like, what if I lose? What if I don't make my money back? Wrong mindset. Everyone say wrong. Play to win in everything. There's a lot of great speakers out here that are got a ton of great products and a ton of great programs. Look, if you think it can help you, all right, if you think it can help you and you're wondering, like, should I do it? Should I not? Everyone say, go for it. Go for it. Because what if you have that mindset, you're going to extract what you need. How many people would agree? You guys are go for it people. That's why you're here. All right. So thank you all very much. Take care. Hope you had a blast. And here's the information if you want to take it. Thank you.
For a free 10-day online recruiting bootcamp to dive deep into rejection-free sponsoring methods using the internet, click the link above or go directly to elitemarketingpro.com/go. I'll see you there.